What's going on, guys? My name is RagingRaptor and welcome to a new World of Tanks video, and today will be a tiny special one because today I want to talk about several easy ways of getting credits in World of Tanks, because you might not even know it, but you have a secret stash of credits being hidden from your eyes in front of you somewhere deep in the World of Tanks garage. And today I want to break this little case open because I am 100% certain that a lot of you guys out there really need some credits for the black market, for the upcoming black market. So let's jump into the first little method, which is in my opinion the most known method. And the first one is the depot. The depot is probably the position you want to go where you want to sell things you don't really need anymore. Specifically, you would go on your stock thing because there you have much different categories where you can sell different stuff. Most importantly will be modules. Modules we are most likely are not going to use anymore. For example, here we have the gun 88cm flak 41 L74, which I use on the Panzer Selbstfaller Fette 4C. I'm never going to, most likely not going to play this tank anymore, as I have it free marked. So I wouldn't really need this gun anymore, aka I could sell it for 56,000 credits, and boom, I am a little bit more rich in that kind of sense. Obviously, there are tons of guns out there. You can decide to sell, you can decide to try to trade in, etc, etc, etc. For example, here we have the 12.8cm gun of the Waffenträger of Panzer IV. I could sell it, but I know I will keep it because I usually have to take it again with me. For example, here we have the gun, the 10.05cm gun from the Panzerkampfwagen aus of B, the Tiger II and the E75. I do know that I will most likely use it again when I'm playing the Tiger II, so I'm not going to sell it. But there are tons of things where you can sell and you can easily get some money out of this if you've never done it, because in the end, you have a lot of stuff usually in here, especially tier 9 stuff you will never ever use anymore, and this can rack up a decent chunk of money. Obviously, you can go to equipment as well, where sometimes Wargaming gives out random free stuff. For example, sometimes they are camouflage nets, sometimes it is torsion bars, gun lane drives, etc, etc, etc. All those things can be sold, and they can be sold for a decent chunk of credits. For example, here the gun lane drives I have can be sold for 2 million credits, which is a very decent deal in my opinion. Or some torsion bars you can also sell. Obviously, they are a little bit expensive to buy back later because if there are no sales. But in the end, if you want to get a quick buck, it's the best option ever. Most likely the toolboxes will be the ones you want to sell the most or the easiest, because in the end, if you have a lot of tanks, you're not going to use a toolbox anymore. There are only very few, very select tanks you can use a toolbox, and it is an equipment you can just simply take out without even losing it and losing any credits. And the interesting part about the stock in general is that if you buy things on a sale, on a 50% sale, you basically are investing like in a bank. And this is very important for consumables because I am known personally for buying a lot of stuff in the market, or rather in the sales, what Wargaming does about consumables. I have, as you can see, 1600 automatic fire extinguishers. I have a decent chunk of chocolate, obviously because I'm Swiss, but we also have a lot of spread with Smalek and so on and so forth. And most often Wargaming is also giving away such little things for free, like in the current Lunar New Year event, if you manage to get all missions done. You can get a decent chunk of credits from that too, especially if you are a free-to-play player. I would suggest to you to actually sell big, large repair kits and large first aid kits as a free-to-play player, because the small ones are more than enough. Also, rations I would recommend to sell, because as a free-to-play player you want to just have fun and you don't really need to try hard as much. Automatic fire extinguishers, I do think they are a pretty decent thing to keep. So I would suggest to keep those with you for the time being, because in the end, yeah, you don't really want to burn that often. But I think I did it with a little bit of an overkill with 1600, so I can easily say, you know what, I'm going to sell 500 of them, which gives me an additional 5 million. Obviously, if I would like to buy them back right now, I would be at a loss because I just sold them for the 50% of their price. And exactly this is what I mean. If the consumables are on a sale and you buy them, it doesn't matter. As soon as the sale is over, you can sell them again and you don't lose any money, which is awesome in my opinion, because it's literally like a little piggy bank you can sometimes use, or you can just sell in a bulk. That is a great thing, and it doesn't cost you anything, because in the end, either you got those things gifted to you, or you actually bought them later in a little consumable sale, and so on and so forth. The next thing I have for you is a little bit more annoying to sell, but it can also rack up quite a lot of money. And that is when you go into the exterior tab in your World of Tanks client, because here you can gather a quick buck very, very quickly. Because Wargaming decided that many different emblems have a gold price attached to them, which translates into a credit price if you want to sell them. And for the people which were actively watching the streams of Gamescom, you would know that sometimes you simply got some styles, like the Made in Germany style. And that is very, very interesting. For example, if we decide to give our E75TS the Professional Hunter's skin, we can have a look at this one right here, the Made in Germany primary style, and you can see it is worth 140,000 credits. Sure, it is not that much, but there are tons of such skins laying around just for you to use and just for you to sell. Obviously, you have to go through them a little bit to see which ones are sellable, and from what I've seen, it is just the primary ones are sellable if you got any of those. And I'm sure you got some, because they gave them away here and there in different stream giveaways. They gave it away as codes, etc, etc, etc. So you can make there a quick buck as well. And there are really a lot of different tanks or nations. You would need to go through each nation, because most of the time I would suggest you actually have one of those special national skins. Even this one right here, the 50TP, he has also a special skin made in Poland, which you also can buy sell for 140,000, aka you get a decent chunk of money right there as well. But we are not finished yet. All the time, if you get those codes from streams, sometimes you will get either colors or emblems or camouflages and so on and so on and so on. And most of those things you can sell as well. This is, again, as already mentioned, rather tedious, because you can see some you can't sell. Obviously, most of them are special Clan Wars reward camouflages, and those, those Lunar New Year camouflages, so you can't sell those. But as soon as they are in their most of the primary things, you can sell, for example, those big emblems. I know I'm not going to use this spider ever. First of all, I don't like spiders, and second, why should I? Sadly, you can't sell those where I have the most of, but you can see if you have a lot of those things, you can sell them for a cheap buck as well, and probably get another 500,000 or even 1 million out of them. Obviously, the same thing works with emblems. Emblems have a price to them. It's 10,000 each, so maybe you can get another 500,000 outfit. I know it's not that much, but it's still something. The biggest bulk will be obviously from your depot, where you can sell the most things. So yeah, here I could sell my raptor head, which I'm obviously not going to do. I could sell this one right here, because I actually would never use it. Sadly, I can't sell those because they are once again Clan Wars specific, so you can't sell those, but some behind here you can sell once again. Some inscriptions can also be sold, depending if they are special or if they are not special, like just national pride. So for example, when we go back to our German example, or here the Kanonjagdpanzer, we can also go to inscriptions. And we have some inscriptions already in our possession, so we can sell those for another small and cheap buck. And I think I just saw a bug myself on this gun mark. I'm actually not entirely sure. But yeah, if those skins are very, very unique and just for this tank, I do know that this tank has this Black Panther skin. You see, you can't sell it. It's simply not being sold, because they are very special, they're unique to this tank. So now those were the those were the ones where you don't really lose that much options. So now let's jump into another more special option, what you could do to gather some credits. So for the last major thing, and you might guessed it, I went to my press account because it's a little bit easier for me to explain there, because I'm not going to lose credits in the long run. Because in the last thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you what you can do to get a really quick buck, which can be a lot of money, and it's selling special tanks and even premium tanks, because World of Tanks decided to implement a system which is called the vehicle recovery system. In this, you are allowed to recover tanks you sold and let them, well, they can just buy them back. So if you really, really need that tiny little price of money, this little jump of money, you can sell some premium tanks or special vehicles. And I really do want to show this with you with two different vehicle types. We have the premium tanks, which are in tech trees, and we have the premium and reward tanks, which are not in the tech trees, aka tanks like the E75TS, tanks like the Object 279, Object 260, and so on and so on and so on. Important is, if we now have a guess, like let's just sell the VK168P. If you want to sell this tank, you will see we get 2.3 million credits. Obviously, that was a little bit too much on me. You can only sell as many tanks as you might want to. You can't sell all of them. You have to, you can only sell 5 tanks at a day, and I'm a little bit caught off guard here because I do have to sadly dismiss the crew because on the press account, let's say it like that, our barracks are very full with tank crews. Important about this trick right here, if you run into the same issue where you have no space anymore in your barracks and you still want to sell, for example, a tank and you need the space, you can go buy tier 1s, buy tier 2s, buy tier 3 tanks. They are very cheap and they are, in my opinion, a decent way to get free barracks slots, because you can just put your crews in there and you can let them chill around in there. So yeah, now we can sell the VK168 or 1P or the Mauerbrecher unskinned version. So we are just putting in that in, and bada bam, bada boom, we sold this tank and we got 2.3 million credits. So now let's have a look if we're doing the same thing with the E75TS, where we also again have to do this because it's very annoying. Yeah, I actually didn't thought I had to do this, but our barracks are very, very full. Again, why I'm not going to do this on my live account is because if you use the vehicle recovery system, you are going to lose 10% of your tank's selling price. So if we sold it for 2.3 million, we should be able to rebuy it for 2.53 million, because we will have to pay an extra 230,000 credits. So you could say that in this sense, Wargaming gives you a loan with an interest rate of 10%, which is actually very high. But yeah, now let's sell the E75TS, which is worth 21,250, because we also have some rounds in it. So now, if you did that, it is very important. The special premiums and reward vehicles and the normal tech tree premiums are behaving differently. You now can go into your depot, into your, I think it was your depot, and go here to vehicles in the garage. Now you can go to recovery and you will see this right here. And again, you can see for the VK we got 2.3 million, but we have to pay 2.53 million as already mentioned before. And the E75TS we have to recover for 2.31 million. And again, this is very important to note. Tech tree premiums you can buy right now in a tech tree, will void after 3 days. So keep that very, 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 very closely in your mind. Premium tanks, reward vehicles, which are not in a tech tree, as you can see right here, they have unlimited time of selling. It doesn't matter how long it takes for you to recover them, you can recover them. It's only important, you obviously need a vacant spot in your garage, obviously. But yeah, you can buy them back without any time crunch whatsoever. So now, in theory, you can sell tanks like Chieftain, like 907, like 279, etc., etc., etc. Especially those high-tier special tanks. They give you tons of monies. And this is very, very cool if you really, 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 really need a quick buck, because even if you want one of the cheekiest bucks, you could in theory buy the M60 for bonds and then sell it again for 4.5 million. Sadly, it looks like the M60 wasn't added to my press account, so I'm very sorry I can't really show you that, but I know that from a fact that they have 4.5 million price tag. So we can finally do it one more time with this vehicle right here to show you that you can sell them without any repercussions, except that you have to pay a 10% additional fee. Obviously, there's one more thing you can do to try and get a decent chunk of money, and that is obviously going to be use your boosters, use a premium account maybe, and play strongholds. Especially, you have to be important though, strongholds, your boosters shouldn't work, so only go if you have a clan booster. And if you spam some battles in advanced, not advanced, in just the normal game mode, in stronghold battles, you can make a decent chunk of money there. So again, we can sell this vehicle right here for 4.5 million. Yes, attention, you will be able to recover it, which is great, awesome sauce. So let's just sell it right now. Bada bam, bada boom. We can go back to the depot. We can go back to this one right here, go on to recovery and recover the vehicle. And again, you can see it doesn't matter. We have unlimited time on the Clan Wars reward vehicles. But again, lastly, stronghold battles with a clan booster gives you tons of credits if you're winning and you're quick. Still, you can also use your personal reserves if you have some. On this account, we don't have any, because usually you can just grind them out, and most of the time you have a lot of consumables or such reserves ready for you to use. So go out there, try to grind as quickly as possible. I don't know how much is necessary to get a decent tank. I hope, however, that this video really helped you illustrate how much you can get from where, and I hope that you are able to get a lot of credits for your dream tank, which may or may not come in a black market, who knows. There are some leaks, but I am very skeptical. Let's see how it goes today. My name is RagingRaptor. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment if you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And if you're new to the channel, obviously consider subscribing for more informational videos like this. Cheers, guys.